Citations game, if you welcome back to Flatmates. I believe it has been like 2 months-ish since we had our last episode, which was rather a long time. I took a break from video production. Most Flatmates, it didn't really feel like a break because I still work pretty hard on some videos, like my explosions video, which I put way too much effort into for the rather meager topic matter that I had to talk about.
I mean,
but yeah, in the interim, sadly, our cat Rocket died, which is very, very unfortunate. It was a really, really nice cat, was Rocket. But we got kittens, which I'm going to take my earphones out and go and fetch them for you at the moment, so that I can show you lovely viewers my lovely cats. Because it's cats, woo!
Woo! He's gonna view. All right, so Shrew, this is where we take over the podcast now, right?
Ducks are better.
Yo, ducks, right?
Ducks. I like ducks. So I guess I get to be the host for a bit. Never mind.
Wait, he's back. Wait. You're still frozen for a second because it's like slow mo. Oh, I see a shirt. I see. Is that a tail? Oh, there you are. There's Bob. That is a cat.
This is Bob.
Hello, Bob.
This is Bob. He's a lovely kitten. Oh, he's climbing on me back. Oh, here's Bob.
I was gonna. We can't see that because we can't see that because there's the shoulder. Now we can see.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. You were like frame per second, so all I saw was a cat eye. Look at Bob.
He's on my shoulder at the moment.
I love
Bob. I don't know what he's gonna do. Oh,
very
he jumped off.
Leap of faith.
There we go.
And I'm just gonna go get you the other cat now.
Get other cat.
Other cat. Woo! Alright, so I like the part where the ducks say quack.
I'm not gonna be the host again.
I like the part where ducks say quack. Here's a random Squirtle card with claymation that I just found on my desk because I completely forgot I'm still going through my Pokemon card collection.
It's a duck.
This is a turtle.
And
Black Cat. I love it.
Is Marley.
Marley.
It's Marley.
Aww.
So Bob and Marley.
She looked right into my soul.
I saw Marley look right into my soul. Yeah. Bob Marley. That's clever. I like that though. Aww. I love black cats.
The topic.
The topic. Wait, George is frozen. I see motion. George looked like he was just gonna choke slam me onto like his floor. Oh, I love them. I love them.
The cat.
Look at them both. It's so precious.
They're playing with each other.
Aww.
Oh, kitties.
Can we just talk about the cats the whole time?
Yeah, honestly, that's the whole episode, is just talking about the cats at this point.
This is the cats episode. The topic of discussion today is not cats, I'm afraid. But we are indeed talking about the Legion of Stationery. So, I was rather perplexed by them when I first saw them in the trailer. I was laughing at the idea of Roll of Sellotape being a boss in a Mario game, but I think it actually turned out really, really well, and they're really good characters, and I'm sure that me and Benson will end up talking about the personalities and stuff while Shrew will go on about the boss fights.
I am really happy about Office Supplies, yes. I agree. I was very perplexed when they first came out, because this was during a time where Paper Mario just sat in a limbo for me in regards to liking it, because it was just like, I enjoyed the older ones, but I didn't like Sticker Star, and then I didn't have a Wii U because Color Splash, but from what I saw, it still looked not as great, so what am I gonna do? And then they kind of just out of nowhere drop Origami King, and I remember the presentation not being good as it was already, but then they it was horrible.
Just randomly dropped out without any warning.
Right on Twitter. That's how I found out. That's how anyone found out about gaming news in 2021 was not 2021, 2020, because of just dropping on Twitter. Origami King was the first, I think, of this too, actually, but I remember seeing the presentation. It wasn't good already as it was. Nintendo wasn't really doing a good job anyways, but then all of a sudden they showed the Legion of Stationery and showed off, I think it was colored pencils, the fight. And I remember thinking to myself, this looks interesting, but at the same time, it's kind of dumb. I don't know. This is where I was iffy about the ring system still, and the fact that colored pencils was a boss was off to me. But all things considered, after reviewing the game, it's probably one of my favorite concepts of the game is the Legion of Stationery.
It isn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Maybe. You'll see.
Perhaps.
Yeah, so they're like comparable to other groups of villains in the series before. Like, well, we had like Bowser and Cammy, then we had the X-Nauts, and then we had Count Black and his minions. But it felt quite different to that because unlike those characters, the cat's climbing up on my toy box over there. Unlike those characters, we don't like. After every chapter, we used to like cut to the bad guys to see what they were up to, or at least like cut to Peach in the first. And that's probably one of the best parts of the first 3 games, if you ask me. And it really gave the villain characters a lot more character. You got to see a lot more of them. You see how they interact with each other. In Super Paper Mario, you got to see slightly more sympathetic side of them. You're giving me a weird face there, Shrew. What are you thinking?
Because I thought you were including Super Paper Mario with the group you were talking about, but then you included Super Paper Mario in like a different group. Because obviously the first 2 games, they did great because you got to play as Peach and Bowser for Bowser in Your Door. But with Super Paper Mario, obviously you got to play as like Luigi and Peach before you actually could play as them, which was good, but it didn't increase like Nastasia as a villain.
Yep.
I guess it made her more threatening, but that's really it.
I mean, the villain themselves were threatening. The fact you got to play these characters and get these sort of intervals in the older games was really fun on its own. But Origami King, like, did not have any sort of intervals. Nothing for Legion of Stationary. Nothing for Ollie, especially.
No.
Like, except for that one scene where he comes to you. So it's not even really an interval of anything.
Yeah, he pops in and drops a boulder on his sister and then pieces out.
Pretty much. Like, you know, as all families do. But, what is it? I was gonna say. I saw Shreem's reaction. But, what was I gonna say? The thing with the Legion of Stationary was, like, once I saw colored pencils and, like, they kind of just cut right to the chase of him. Like, you had, like, the threat of, like, pencil missiles leading up to the fight, obviously. But, like, beforehand, you didn't get any notice that these guys were going to be the main bosses. And you don't know what you're getting into until you get to the boss. So you need to make them really memorable to make them work. Otherwise, they're just going to flop. Like, you are literally just setting yourself up for failure now without any of the intervals like the past games. Which, quite frankly, I really enjoyed these guys and their personalities, if I'm going to be honest.
And sometimes they were able to integrate them really well into the chapters that they take place in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's most of all, it's Hole Punch and Scissors. They do this really well with. Obviously,
Yes.
Hole Punch, the sun being missing, is like the whole point and plot of that chapter. And then Scissors, you meet them really early on in the chapter where they cut up Bowser Jr., then you've got to sort all that out. But other times it's not as well used, like Tape and just the entirety of Chapter 4 in of itself really felt pretty weak story-wise. They didn't really foreshadow Tape very much. There are a bunch of toads taped to the side of the tower, but that's at the very end of the chapter, and it doesn't really amount to much. You don't really get to talk to these toads or get to know them or anything.
Nope.
Would have been better if we had tape around like all the island about the place. That could have been a nice change, I suppose.
Maybe tape 2 of the islands together, even, like, because there's an island not nearby, not far off, I believe, like, because these guys are supposed to be all powerful beings.
There is like, especially starting from Sticker Star, they have like a lot of like in Sticker Star they had Bowser tape, which you had to peel off, which was quite a satisfying sensation, I believe, in Sticker Star. You peel off the things, and then the environment that had been like folded up in the wrong way would be able to spring out, and you'd be able to give yourself a pass. They could have leaned hard into that sort of thing in the 4th chapter, and that could have been really interesting. But what I wanted to say, comparing it to like Super Paper Mario, where we check in with the bad guys after each chapter, if we did do that and the plot remained otherwise unchanged, where the Legion of Stationary all bit the dust after fighting Mario, it would have made the story feel pretty dark. If they all like came together to chat with each other and they're all like friends with each other, and like I've seen artists who like make human versions of the Legion of Stationary and Ollie and stuff, where they like treat it like the Legion of Stationery are like Ollie's found family, and it's kind of nice, and they have friendships and relationships with each other, and they like make them into their own proper characters more so. And if they portrayed that sort of thing in the game, and after each chapter they could see in the distance that this streamer had all been destroyed, they lose contact with the Legion of Stationery,
that'd be nice.
It would make Mario seem intimidating and kind of scary. He's going around the world killing your friends.
Essentially. Like, it basically is, like, automatically I think of JRPGs when it comes to this stuff. Like, not many JRPGs do that when it comes to, like, the minions meeting. A really weird example I have of what you're talking about is Kingdom Hearts, the first game, where the Disney villains of Maleficent, Jafar, and all these guys, when they first meet Sora, are all, like, just round table discussion. But as you defeat and destroy more and more of them, the table becomes more empty, and like they keep talking. So I always did like that, and when you bring up that concept for the Legion of Stationery, I feel like that would work really well. Also, the audience is really going to love my latest thing, that my nervous wreck that I do, because I'm going to keep constantly darting my eyes back and forth between you guys and the screen. For anyone wondering why I'm doing it, making sure the recording's going well, because I am a anxious wreck and a tech person that wants to make sure everything's perfect. So the audience at this point, just want to clarify that for the audience, because I've done it maybe 5 times in the last minute.
I'm gonna let the cats out of the room because I think they want to leave.
Let them out.
While he does that, I want to explain something, because what George just brought up, bringing them kind of back.
Yeah.
Like, to see, like, what happens to them, is a good thing, and it probably wouldn't make me care about their characters much more. Because, as you will see in this episode, I care zero about their character. I don't care at all. I mean, the only personality that I actually remember is Tape having, like, a New York accent. I think that's what it is.
Like,
but
it's the Godfather, yeah. It's like the Godfather.
Yeah, the only reason I remember is because people keep bringing it up. If people didn't, I would just think of them as boss fights. And don't get me wrong, we'll talk about the boss fights. They're very good. I really enjoy them. But as characters, it's kind of weird, because it's kind of the inverse of Super Paper Mario, because I think the bosses in Super Paper Mario are okay. Some of them are really good, but some of them are just... It's a platformer. They're not going to be great. But in Origami King, I think it's the opposite. I think the characters are okay enough, but the bosses are really good.
And that's the thing with me, is that I don't like...
It's interesting.
In the grand scheme of, like, what I mean is, like, when I say I like the characters, it's not like, oh, I'm upset that they're gone, or I'm going to remember them forever. It's just that I like them in the moment. They're just there. They're, like, just unique, and I like their puns. I like their humor. I like Hole Puncher is probably one of the more involved villains that I really enjoy, because he's a disco-loving nerd that, like, you can interact with so many times depending on how much you bring the music to him, and it's just really fun. Scissors is, like, one of my favorite bosses in the game, even though he's got probably one of the blander personalities in my opinion, because he's basically just an anime swordsman. Like, that's about it. Like, like, one of my favorite bosses, but, like, if I have to go through the personalities really quick and rank them, I don't know if you guys want to do it too. Colored Pencils, really interesting commentary on artistry and also fan artists of Mario, I feel like. Like, it's just hysterical. The dialogue fits it so well. Rubber Bands, as a theater and film kid, I felt a little attacked, but in a good way. But I love Rubber Bands. Interesting character, bit of a diva. I absolutely adore it. I know a couple people like that. Tape is an interesting one. I like Tape. As an Italian, I always love Italian stereotypes, and, like, it just cracked me up getting to do the Godfather voice and all that stuff, like in my review. I loved Hole Puncher. Hole Puncher, I said, was already my favorite. Scissors, again, he's probably the weakest character in my opinion. Just bland. Like, again, anime swordsman. Really dark when it comes to, like, his playstyle, because he literally cuts living people up. But when it comes to his actual character, he's just eh. But I think that's all of them.
I love how they managed to get away with so much body horror in this game, where they would never fly in a normal Mario game, because Scissors literally cutting people up. And,
he legit murdered a child.
It's paper. It's fine.
Sticking everybody's faces into a hideous abomination that has to attack you. It's pretty dark at that, and people lose their faces and all sorts. It's not great.
No, not at all.
And then we're not going to even bother talking about Stapler, because Stapler is a dog, and there's not much more to it, really.
Yeah.
Probably the weakest.
Exactly. Other than Scissors, obviously, yeah. But I kind of like discluded Stapler because again, it's a dog. Like I figured they would have done something with him when they like showed him at the beginning to stapling Bowser, but then he turned out just to be a dog, and I was just like, wow, this sucked. The boss was fun, but
oh, imagine though if we got to see like the characters interacting with each other in between chapters and stuff like that. And imagine if we got to see Stapler as like a really nice pet dog for Ollie that he really loved. And like at the end, everyone else in the Legion is dead, and it's just like this sad, dark scene where he's just there petting his pet Stapler, talking to him about how all the people that he loves are dead now. Imagine how depressing that would be!
That would be a little
kind of dark, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that would be pretty dark, all things considered, actually. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
That would make. Yeah, you could make Ollie so much more sympathetic and, really care about him, because basically his entire course of villainy comes from racism, and that doesn't make him terribly sympathetic, or you understand what he's saying, or you don't like feel for him very much, to be honest, because racism and the desire to like exterminate all of this race that he sees as not correct or not pure is a bit
literally just try. This man literally came onto the game and it's like, I'm gonna commit a genocide.
Yep. Hi, how do you do? I'm the Mario equivalent of Hitler. I'll be your villain today.
That just jumped ship right away. I didn't want to say it, but as soon I've been holding it in this whole time. And of course George takes his drink. Yeah, that's how it goes, I guess. Like I literally was like, I'm not gonna be the one to say it. I'm not gonna be the one to say it. But
that is like pretty much what he is. Like, I mean,
you're not wrong. Would I have used
I didn't
Hitler?
even think of it. I'm also 15.
Would I have used Hitler? Maybe not. But
what he is doing is pretty abhorrent, and it makes him hard to empathize with or like worry about the well-being of.
Yeah.
And it could have made the plot and Ollie as a character have a lot more nuance if we saw him like interacting with the Legion of Stationery and having him like have a positive relationship with them, because basically he just has himself on top of the pyramid, looks down upon everybody, and we don't even get to see what his relationship with the Legion of Stationery is, if any. Like, could have been interesting to see them in the war room all together planning strategies and stuff at the start, and then it gets increasingly depressing as we go on, and they all die.
I may, as much as I like the idea of this depressing scene, I feel like the war room would just shine with the Legion of Stationery. I personally think that Ollie just used them like soldiers, much like anyone else. Like, he didn't have a personal relationship with them. Like, he didn't even mention these guys at any point, I believe, of Mario, if I remember correctly. He just saw them like troopers, like literally any of his other origami soldiers. Like, yeah, it would be depressing to see this, but I just see these Legion of Stationery guys, if they ever wanted to do these roundtable discussions, it's like, it'd be sad for each other to see each other go. Ollie would probably just discard him and be like, get my mission done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, personally speaking, Ollie was at that point.
Yeah. That would make sense. Like, so yeah, it's more so when you see the Legion of Stationery meeting together in between chapters,
right.
you could see the Legion mourn each other, and like as it goes on and on and on, like Ollie pushing them to keep on defending these points and keep on fighting this fight that they're losing people to very quickly. You'd feel sorry for the Legion of Stationery, and we could even have like a plot where one or more of the Legion actually are really questioning what Ollie's doing and thinking, this isn't worth all of us dying for. Screw this kid, let's jump ship or something. That could be interesting.
What would have been cool too is maybe if they did the worm, like after you defeat all of them, like it'd be like a Paper Mario Easter egg where like there's a note or two, or like colored pencils drew a drawing of the entire Legion of Stationery. Like, like it's your last warning of congratulations, you murdered all these people in graphic horror, you monster. I bet you feel good now, don't you, dummy? Like, essentially like that. Like, a bit of pity for them, like sympathy, if you will. So,
I wish that we just got to have a dance-off with Hole Punch and we didn't actually have to fight him. That would be nice. Like, is it going to be like, tell you what, I'm going to return the sun in everybody's faces if you beat me in a dance-off, Mario.
That would have been
he
great.
Keeps his word, and then he's still alive.
I would have... Well, actually, I don't know about that. Maybe it's a dance battle, but, like, the better you... Like, how I see it, maybe it's a dance battle, but the better you do against Hole Puncher, the less HP he has, because you're making Hole Puncher really work and dance for it, so it tires him out. That's how I see it.
Okay. Mm.
But that
Mario danced before this.
He did. He had Dance Dance Mario mix.
No, I'm saying like before, like Hole Punch comes out of the room.
He did.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that you mentioned as well, that's true. But I'm saying the cutscene before it that actually brings Hole Punch onto the dance floor.
He did. That is true.
It wasn't a competition then. Anyway, so what we've been talking about the story and the personalities and stuff. Which do we all have a favourite? I know that Benson said that he's got his favourite is Hole Punch. I really like Scissors. I don't know if I'm a favourite, because I really like to speak in this overly British cavalier voice, and I will cut you into pieces. You dare oppose me, like that sort of thing.
Fair enough.
Fair. You know what? Fair enough.
I don't have a favorite.
He has scissors. He just got scissors. Oh my god. I
Wait,
just saw them.
Wait a minute. Is like the handle, is it green?
No,
Please tell me
it looks
green.
it looks black actually.
It's black, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
It's the anti-scissors.
You can't have scissors be your favorite anymore.
Yeah, that's not scissors. How could you?
I'm a fake scissors fan. I don't even have a green pair of scissors.
Oh,
you know what Nintendo could have done to make a bunch of money? They could have sold stationery with the Legion of Stationery logo on it and stuff. Like just get a yellow Hole Punch with Ollie's logo on it and whatnot.
They're gonna sell that for $50. I'm not letting them do that. Nintendo, don't listen to us.
It's my anniversary edition scissors.
Free ones with purchases of the game then. How about that?
I was gonna say that's a good pre-order then. Like if it's a separate thing, Mario, they're literally gonna be like, Nintendo's gonna be like, for the year of Mario, we're giving you the Legion of Stationery for $50 each. That's pretty much how it goes.
I'm gonna go pay 50 quid for a rubber band.
Seems worth it.
I mean, I can get them at my store on a discount, but like if it's got the Legion, like Ollie's Stationery Legion mark on it, it's totally worth it. That's like a collector's edition right there.
Heck yeah.
Actually, where's my pair of scissors? I want to just take a marker and just make the Legion of Stationery symbol on my scissors myself and be like, this is scissors, a replica, $50. Here you go.
So that's for me.
It's the scissors from the actual game.
These scissors, exactly. He could talk and everything.
And speaking of scissors,
favorite boss fight?
It's my second favorite boss fight in all the Mario RPGs.
I knew
that.
All of them.
Freaking high praise, blimey.
Yes. It's only beaten by Phantasma X, and it is such a good boss fight. I have said my love for this boss fight on the Flatmates episode before, and it has not changed. It is my favorite Paper Mario boss, because what you do, you break the case. Also, we're segueing into the gameplay, because I took control of the segue. So...
Makes sense. We've had our time with the story.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's my time now. Obviously, the anticipation of scissors, him faking you out and him doing it immediately is really good. On my second playthrough, and I will always say, the second playthrough of the 3 modern Paper Mario games is going to be the best one. I forgot to get the 1-up mushroom. I had no idea where it was. I still don't know, to be honest. I don't know where a single 1-up mushroom is. So, if I died, I was gone. I think you could buy it.
Yeah, you can buy them, yeah.
I just didn't, because I just spent it on accessories, because they're so dang expensive, because I never fought enemies, because I didn't need to. But,
yeah.
I see you, Benson.
Yeah.
The thing
this game constantly showers you in money, though.
I don't fight enemies.
I systematically proved with math in my review how that system, especially with Toad support, if you dare have to fight enemies, is broken.
Yep.
There you go.
Damn.
Math wins again. Easy win. Math, you win this round, Math.
Of course. It always wins.
Absolutely.
And it's why Sisters is number 1. No, it's not. But, so obviously it's very exhilarating. You could go the boring route, which I will admit, if you go this route, the fight is fine. Honestly, it's kind of on the lower half if you go on the normal route. All you do is you do enough damage to the other side of the scissors without breaking the case, and then you freeze it with the Ice Volumental. That's lame. So I don't do that.
That's what I did.
That was my first playthrough. I actually experienced both because I kind of accidentally broke it on the first try when I faced him in my playthrough for the review. But then the second time I actually did it how it should be. But I've gone back and played it, and I absolutely will break the shell any chance I get. Like, any chance I absolutely can, I'm going to break that thing wide open.
It can be an anime swordsman if it wants to. I'll let it be one.
Yeah, exactly.
He's resisting himself.
Like, you get two... Oh, you go ahead, George.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Oh, I thought you were...
I'm just fidgeting.
I heard
I'm just fidgeting.
I heard your voice
George,
for a second.
say something.
Yeah, George, say something.
Something.
All right, amazing.
Okay.
Great.
Benson,
Something.
But as I was going to say, yeah, what's funny is, depending on which route you take, you also get two different sides of the anime swordsman. If you end up hitting him without breaking the shield, all of a sudden he's just like, oh, you got me this time, but now I'm not playing anymore. Like, it's time to get serious type of anime swordsman. But if you break his shield, he's still that cocky anime swordsman from before. Like, depending on how you play, you get one or the other. And either way, I just find it like such a fun battle, especially like, literally when I almost beat him on my first try, but like, I mispressed a button when I broke the shield, and I like ran out of my 1-up, but it's just so exhilarating. I remember standing up like during this fight. Not many battles get me to do this, but like I remember standing up and audibly gasping and shrieking every time he got close to me, because I was just like, no, don't do that. But it's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, boss fight of the entire series.
I definitely know what my least favorite Legion of Stationary fight is, and that was definitely Tape, which became an enormous pain in the arse to fight, because after a very short while, I just kept on replenishing the tape all over the battlefield, going back and forth and sticking everything together. It was a major nightmare. The game ended up locking me into just one path every single turn. I'm like, well, I have no autonomy here, never mind what I want to do.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. After like 2 turns, it becomes way too much, and to be able to get rid of it, you have to do the 5 elemental, but like then you kind of waste a turn to get proper damage in him on, and I don't know. I've only played against him once. I've only played through the whole game one time. I've started a second playthrough, to which I've gotten to like the 3rd chapter, but I've only played against Tape once, so I did not have a very good strategy with that battle. I did not do very well. It was very frustrating.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because, again, on the second playthrough, the reason why I still say second is the best is you know what you need to do.
You can think of more strategies, or you can employ a good strategy from the start. And
right.
Stuff like
exactly.
That.
And like, what is it?
I think.
Oh yeah, go ahead, George. Go ahead.
I think that my favorite fight probably Rubber Band. To be honest, I really liked that one. That was a fun gimmick. I think I liked the little rubber band arrows that point forwards or backwards or whatever.
That was pretty fun.
That made thinking about your path a lot more interesting. Actually.
Yeah. But if I may, I actually want to defend Tape for a second, because I think the fight is just all right. I don't hate it, but like, I could definitely see where people are coming from. But like, what makes Tape frustrating for a lot of people is up until this point, you had a set strategy with the other Legion of Stationary. You know their gimmick. You had a path already set that you can work with. Like, it was a fast-paced sort of action type of thing. Like, you didn't have to think twice about the strategy for the most part once you'd figured it out. You just had to go, go, go. With Tape, it involves a lot more strategic thinking. Kind of like basically playing Fire Emblem or older RPGs, for example, like which I'm very experienced in. So it kind of felt like that to me because you have to literally place everything preemptively before Tape starts doing his thing, or try to go with it as it happens and try to get it out as quick as possible so you can keep him at bay. But again, that's just in defense of Tape. He's obviously still not the greatest. Again, it can be a pain in the butt, especially in your first playthrough if you don't know what the heck you're doing, like what happened with, I'm sure, all of us, especially what George mentioned. But in defense of Tape, like, it is a bit more strategic and slower paced, in my opinion.
I like the fight.
What was Stapler's fight like again? I don't even remember what Stapler's gimmick was.
Stapler, you have to jump on him a decent amount, and then he'd do the...
If you're blocked, you wouldn't get stapled in, and you wouldn't waste a turn being stapled, essentially.
Which, Stapler, in my opinion... you go, George.
Fight. They don't that doesn't change how you play the game. That just kind of means okay, you need to make sure you block right, which is basically the same as scissors. The gimmick there is make sure that you block at the right time, or else that's it.
Yeah,
which is why I like Stapler.
That's not a very compelling gimmick.
Well, here's the thing. It actually kind of works for Stapler because he's a dog. He's not supposed to be complex, I feel like.
I suppose so, yeah.
Like, he's literally a dog. Dogs will just, if they do not like you, they will growl and bite at you. And Stapler does that. Stapler is absolutely that epitome. And, like, again, he's actually one of my higher up boss fights, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be honest, because Shroob kind of mentioned this with Tape and liking Tape a lot. I don't think I dislike any fight. I like them a lot. The least that they are is they're just alright. But that's why Tape's lore for me is, even though I personally really find the fight fun, I objectively can kind of see why people don't like it. So that's just me.
It's weird though, because you're saying like you don't like Tape. I mean, I get your reasoning, but it definitely changes the game when the Tape's on the battlefield.
Yes,
it definitely does, and I think that I should play the game a second time because
highly recommend.
I've only played through this whole thing once, and that means that whole bunch of the bosses in the game I've only played against once.
Right.
So maybe I'd like the stuff more on the second playthrough. Most of what I remember and think back to are the story stuff and the personalities of the characters. That's most of what I think about when I think about Origami King or any game.
With this,
I can see Shroob shaking his head now.
With this, it's a mix for me.
No.
Okay. Go ahead, Shroob.
Get the story away from me.
Go ahead, Shroob, before I even say anything about Tape.
I will say, what I remember from Origami King, this is going off topic, I remember the bosses, so I guess that's not off topic, but I also remember the phenomenal world. So that's the two things I remember from it. But I want to talk about Rubber Band for a second, because you were talking about the rubber bands on the field being like a really interesting concept. It's not bad, but it doesn't really do anything. It's really just up and down arrows that you can't, I'm pretty sure, like, right when you run into them, like, they're just gone from the battlefield, right?
They're gone, and if you don't take them off, it replenishes his health at the end of a turn, essentially.
Okay, that kind of adds to it, but the problem is that the way you damage it, you do so much at once that doesn't really affect anything for me. So it's not bad, and I will say that... I'll finish this first. When he turns into one rubber band, the fight is way better. Like, when it's just one single thing.
It changes the way that you plan your movement. It's not the same as a normal arrow, because a normal arrow will point you in one direction and you'll carry on moving it, but whereas the rubber bands will send you up or down one layer, and then you'll carry on moving the way you were moving before you ran into it. So...
is that...
That's how it works.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think, because I'm thinking...
They're not like a normal arrow.
Yep. I was thinking of an arrow, like, from where the beginning. Like, if you don't have something there, then just move forward. Because I thought, like, originally, arrows just moved you up once. But that's not right. I just realized that in my head.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Yeah, you carry on. Normally, you carry on moving that way, but the rubber bands differently. Yeah.
Okay. It's not a huge thing, but it does make it a little bit more interesting. Not a bad concept, obviously. It does enhance it a little bit.
Right, and
it's in the middle.
Yeah, and that's my thing, unfortunately. That's why Tape's lower for me. Again, I have this thing where when it comes to rankings, I don't even just put my opinion. Everyone just does like their like subjective opinion. I kind of put objective in mine too, which like I shouldn't be doing because then it's an opinionated thing. But like that's my problem is I'm too objective with things. I try to be too reasonable with it. Like I don't let like that's what I do as my reviews and like just things in general. That's why Tape's lower for me because I personally enjoy if I have to do an objective rating. Like if it was subjective, Tape would probably be higher. But objectively speaking, Tape I can easily put lower just because I see that people really would not like that slow strategic sort of mix up right out the gates compared to everything else. But I really think Tape's higher up. That's just why Tape's lower on me because subjectively speaking, Tape's higher up. Objectively speaking, I'd probably put him lower if I have to, just because I see where people come from.
Is that why you have color pencils really low?
I like color pencils a lot. Well, I thought that you were saying Tape's law just then, so I'm like,
Tape's law.
Yes, the law. So the deep and rich history of Tape from Paper Mario: The Origami King for Nintendo Switch. He has a deep backstory, didn't you know that?
It's a really well stuck together lore, if you ask me.
Didn't you know he was actually in Thousand Year Door?
Alright, this is the part where I retire. Good night, everybody.
Color pencils. That fight.
I like color pencils. Color pencils were good, actually. Yeah,
It was good.
Yeah, he's a good introductory fight. That's all he is.
It's a worse version than Hole Punch, in my opinion.
Yeah!
That's honestly how I feel about it.
It's an introductory fight to the Legion of Stationary. It's not meant to do anything beyond introduce you to what Legion will... And also Velumentals, because Color Pencils is before Velumental, or he's after, right? Is he after? He's after? Yeah, okay, yeah. And if I remember correctly, Earth Velumental didn't have too much threat to him. Like, you just learned that fight, essentially. But, like, when it came to Colored Pencils, he's, like, your first introduction to, hey, here's how the rest of them will work in regards to, like, area hazards and all this stuff. Like, he's just an introduction, and like you put it perfectly, Shroob, he's just the worst Hole Punch, but he's still alright to me. He's probably my least favorite fight out of the bunch.
I'd say that Colored Pencils might just use the thousandfold arms like the best, to be honest, because most bosses don't actually... I don't think that most of them matter where you really use them, to be honest. I don't think that most of them do, correct me if I'm wrong, but
you can use a hammer, though.
You can use hammer, bro, yeah, you can.
That's something else, though.
Yeah.
What?
And I think you use the hammer more. Oh, wait, are you talking about the last part where you grab the color pencils, though?
And just whack them? Is that what you mean?
In several different stages, you use the thousandfold arms in some different ways, and it depends upon where you are. At first, you need to go and use it from the front, I believe, so you can slam his lid shut.
Yep.
I forgot about that part.
Oh no! Wait, do you need to go at the back?
No. Oh wait, no. You can hit the back, I believe, and like.
Yeah, you shut it. Do you shut it from the back? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I know that when he's got his rainbow roll going, you can't shut him, but you can go to the front and grab the pencils in the rainbow roll at that point. So I'm assuming that you shut him from the back before, because he can't do that now. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure you hit him from the. I'm pretty sure you attack him from the back, so that way it does close. Because I do remember distinctly there were two phases. One where you ambushed him from behind after the missile strike, and the other one is like where he smartens up, and that's where like you have to attack him from the front and just jam the pencils into him.
Yeah, you can't shut his lid anymore. You need to pick the pencils off him, which I think was a really good and creative way of using the 3D space as well as using the idea of the thousandfold arms being a super big move that can be useful in various different ways.
Yeah.
So I pick colored pencils quite a lot. I'd say that he's pretty high up for me. I'm not great at ranking things. I'm not super good at having opinions. I know that Shroob is excellent at making lists.
You could say he makes a whole
I applaud
channel.
your list making skills, and opinion-having skills very much, Shroob. But I'm not great at that. Like, I've been playing through the Mario and Luigi games for a series of retrospectives that I've not gotten back to for quite a while. I still haven't finished the Bowser's Inside Story remake that I started playing for my next one of those.
Great.
But I think that my opinions are already starting to change, to be honest.
Oh.
Which I'm not going to go into because this video isn't about that, but I'm not a great opinion haver.
You have colored pencils in the top half of your list.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
I'll give you credit because originally, and my first...
I don't know if I have a list. I don't know if I really have a list. I like this one.
Shroob,
I like every single one.
Shroob, you should just make a channel based off your rankings since George is praising you so highly.
Oh, I definitely should. It's
really
not like
should.
it's what I'm doing right now.
Absolutely not. You don't have thousands of subscribers already, right, boys?
Oh, never.
Cried in less than 1,000, half a thousand subscribers.
I am in that club, so I feel you. Oh, wait, am I at 130? I'm almost at 130. Cool.
Very off track. No, but...
I've been sitting still for like 2 weeks.
Fair enough. But here's the thing. I originally thought colored pencils was a better version of hole punch.
Ooh.
I was wrong. Well, I know my reasoning because it like the missiles and then hole punch, which I guess we'll get into hole punch next. The hole punch holes that he makes in the battlefield are useless. They do nothing. You're never gonna get stuck on them. Also because you're in Chapter 3, so you have experience with it, but also because they're so close together. While with the colored pencils, the missiles, there is a chance I was hit a couple of times. But the thing that saved the fight is hole punch, and I actually think every single Legionist stationary has one really good thing about it. Like the colored pencils with the second phase, 1,000-fold arms, stapler with the attack where he just sends all the rest of the staples at you, and for this one where he halves your total HP. That was really good.
I love that.
Easily the best part of the fight for me. But also his weak point is so basic. That's another reason why I still think it's just a better version of colored pencils. It's just still feels kind of basic for Chapter 3. Also, It is one of the least memorable for me personally. When I made the list, I didn't know where it was. I thought it was in, like, Chapter 2. I thought it was in Chapter 2, but then I realized Rubber Band, and then there was Chapter 3, and I was like, oh. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, his personality... That's the thing with these bosses, I feel like. Their personality... It's like an invert type of thing. Their personalities can be really fun, but then their bosses are sort of okay. And then it's like their personalities are bleh, but their like battles are great. Which is why I think Scissors is my favorite boss of the entire game.
Oh yeah, that personality, I really, really like Scissors' personality a lot. Anyway, we are at 43, coming up on 44 minutes now.
Barely even talked about some of the fights.
I was gonna say.
I feel like we've hardly touched on this topic at all, to be honest.
There's just so much with these guys, which is crazy because remember when they first were announced, we're probably like, wow, they're not gonna do anything big with these guys or interesting.
Yeah, I remember. When I did a video reacting to that first trailer where they showed like some of Legion stationery, and I had my big bucket of pencils and pens and stuff. Did you see that skit where I just poured it all out on my desk and on my lap?
I remember that. I think I remember that.
That was funny. I'll link it anyway.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What's the fight? I really want to talk about Stapler. Stapler's I think it's a decent fight. I think kind of like Tape, it's in the middle of the list. But it feels so shoehorned in.
Yeah.
It's so shoehorned in. And it has story relevance. It does.
Relevant. It's relevant. Actually, it's pronounced relevant.
Actually, hold on. You gotta do it around the glasses. Hold on. You gotta be like, actually, it's relevant. Let me tell you.
It's relevant.
If you're gonna talk
relevant.
If you're gonna talk about Stapler, you need to do it right, okay, Shroob Invader? Don't get me started. But carry on.
Don't dishonor Stapler's memory with your paws forever.
Okay. Here's a question I've got for you. If you were to add one Legion of Stationary member to the game, what would it be? Because I've got an idea already. I think that what if we had a Pit of 100 Trials in this game, and at the end there's like a world-ending threat of a paper shredder.
That actually.
No, we have to have a copy of a fight. So markers instead of colored pencils.
Oh, that actually works. Markers are like instead of colored pencils, because pencils you can erase easily, but like markers, like the residue stays on the battlefield and will affect you in some way. I like that.
Like Roy.
If I have to pick, okay, first one that comes to mind, because I made this joke in my review, a printer that makes copies of Paper Mario that just like are on the field and can attack them. But in a more relevant situation is, I kind of think glue, actually. Because glue, for me, would be like, he can do his own attacks where, like, it's sticky on the battlefield, but, like, also, too, it's the double edge where if you hit him a certain way, like hammers or jumps, like, you have to, it essentially squirts out more glue. So you're basically like, do I do this way? Do I, like, try to do the 1,000-volt arm, but, like, it involves unfolding the nozzle or something like that, and see if like he'll have to like waste a turn. It's just a bit more strategy to me, so I feel like glue would be a good one.
It's true.
What's your favorite stationary you want to see in the game?
Oh god.
Let's see the video where you just do your top 10 favorite pieces of stationery, not even Mario related.
Well, I mean, people have been like, you guys have, and you and
after you've done that explosions video, of course.
Yeah, Shroob, get on it. That's your explosion challenge. There you go. There you go, Shroob. You issued the challenge. You are in this mess, okay?
No, I didn't.
You issued.
You've got to have another quirky, explosive Mario character that you voice to be your companion as well.
See, if I, this is me.
You're gonna be lazy. Just have it as just my voice.
See, here's my problem.
This is my duplicate from the Bob-omb parallel universe, where I'm a bomb.
It's not just me.
See, that's my issue.
I am bomb.
That's my issue. I wouldn't even like just do a Mario character, even though it's probably relevant. I immediately, if I did ever accept the challenge to do like a top 10 explosions, I know exactly the character from the lore that I've created for my channel that I would actually use. And I know like 99% of my viewer base would absolutely love to have back. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. But I have been looking for excuses to do top 10s anyways. You never know.
Do it.
So much of my community involving you guys have legit been like telling me to do challenges. I have a community talent challenge on my Twitch right now to basically like the character Duking in Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, cosplay as him, because I gave that guy a specific voice that people enjoy, and do that. Like, there's so many challenges I have to do at this point. I gotta make a list. Y'all are insane.
We've been talking for almost 50 minutes, by the way.
That's great!
This video is going to be ridiculously long.
The last 5 minutes you're just gonna cut out. It has nothing to do with
So, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Let us know if you enjoyed this new can see our faces format, our beautiful, handsome faces. Let us know if you like that, or if you prefer disembodied voices. Do you like faces or disembodied voices more? Please
don't see my face.
I have a puppet. Would that help? Yo, do like
Hi.
puppet. How's it going? Get like googly eyes.
I do have that paper cutout of the face of my me somewhere I could use. In the comments, let me know what your favorite legionary of the stationary is, personality-wise and battle-wise. So both story preferers and gameplay preferers will be satisfied by that.
Make sure for the story you say nothing, and then for the gameplay you actually list your favorite one.
Make sure scissors is number 1.
Make sure you do exactly what my opinion is.
Exactly. Like, literally, Shroob and I, how we have Susan at number 1, there you go.
No, it's my channel. They need to agree with me.
Sorry, I'm taking over.
He's
I'm taking
agree
over.
with
Sorry.
me.
He is called Shroob Invader.
He's invading my channel.
No, I'm not.
Stealing the opinions of my viewers. How darest thou? Anyway, so, thank you very much for watching, dear viewers. And until next time, farewell. Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, there he goes.
Boys.
There he goes.
And wave.
There he goes. He just mic dropped, but au revoir. I wish I could have pistachios.
Pistachio shells.
I wish I could have Skittles,
Oh,
but that was
dear.
an empty bag.
No, I wish I could literally have pistachios, because if I eat one, I literally die.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Not so sure about
I
that
don't
one.
like I don't like Skittles because I don't like sweets and stuff that get stuck in my teeth. I
You
find
know what?
that very unpleasant.
Honestly, I love chocolate. I love sweets, but I gotta agree. I hate the feeling. Like, it's just a sensory thing for me. I'm like,
it's not nice.
That's why I never chew candy.
You just swallow it straight down.
No, I just no.
You just literally.
Well, sometimes.
I've been gifted some love hearts from somebody.
Oh, that's
They're
nice.
not very nice either. I don't like love hearts much. Is that something that you have in America, love hearts?
They're kind of like our candy hearts, is what we call them over here. Yeah, they taste like chalk and all that.
They do not taste like. Have you had chalk before?
Nice.
Don't question what kids did back in the early 2000s, okay?
Well, I have chalk every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I can confirm that it does not taste like chalk.
What colored chalk do you have?
Do you have?
I have
Yeah,
a mix
it with nice
of pink and yellow.
That's the problem. You never had the green chalk.
Makes sense. That's fair.
The green and the blue are
I'm
always
annoyed
the
that we're
ones.
not recording at the moment, unless we are.
Oh, I've been recording. I've been recording.
Good.
For the last
Oh,
4 minutes,
good.
it's been nothing but
But
recording.
now the viewers can listen to the chalk conversation.
Yes.
I hope they enjoy the chalk conversation.
We just need a whole video of Flatmates where it's just behind the scenes of just what we randomly talk about.
Honestly,
Maybe for the second channel. Maybe for the second channel that absolutely nobody watches.
Yes.